At the Linux Academy, we're passionate about teaching hands-on topics, and one way that we do this is through our unique server labs that we offer. These server labs can be used with some of our courses so that you can follow along and practice what you're learning instead of simply watching the instructor do it. Because at the end of the day, you need experience working in real-world environments. So from this server lab control center, you can launch up to 6 different servers with different distributions depending on what you're learning and working on. For example, we have CentOS 7, Ubuntu 14 and 12 LTS, Debian 7, and many others. And if you were to spin up these labs in a public cloud host provider, you would be charged real money. But instead, we cover this cost for you in your membership. So once you select a distribution, you can click on Server Actions. From there, we can go ahead and create a server. Once we click on Create Server, the server will be created and we'll see the status of starting. Once it's done loading, we will get a public IP address, a private IP address, as well as a public host name, which we can use to log into that server. And launching the server will only take a couple of minutes. Once the server is launched, we'll have access to more server actions. For example, we can reset the password, we can open the web console, which is a new and exciting feature used to log into the server. Because a lot of firewalls block port 22, we created a web console which bypasses this limitation. Let's go ahead and open that up. The console can take a couple of minutes to pull up, but once it pulls up, we'll have access to this web console login. Now wait just a minute, I'll show you how to log in just a moment. Let's go back over to the control center where we can also stop the server, delete the server, or mount multiple devices, which may be needed for certain courses. Now, outside of that, we have another important feature, which is the tagging feature. Using tags can help you remember what the server was created for, because if you are in a course which requires multiple servers, it's easy to forget which server served which purpose. With this, we can easily tag the servers. So once we've tagged our server, and the server is created and running, we can go ahead and log into it. Now there are 2 ways to log into the server. If we are on a Linux or Mac machine, we can use the terminal that comes with our computer. If we're on Windows, we can use something like PuTTY, which can be downloaded here. And then the second option is using this web console that I opened right here. So let's go back over here and we can copy the user and password, which is 123456. So I'll type in user, then I'll paste the password in there. And as soon as we log in for the first time, we are forced to change our password. So we need to enter the current password, which is 123456, and then we put in a new password. We repeat that same new password, and we've successfully changed our user password. The second step to take when launching a brand new server is to change the root password. We can do that by typing SU, the password is 123456, and then we're required to change the password again. So we need to type in the current password, which again is 123456. Remember, this is the current password, not the new password that you want to have. Now we can type in that new password that we'd like to have, and we retype that new password, and we're good to go. The same thing applies if we SSH into our server from our terminal. Now, whereas with the web console, we did not require the public IP address, with using the terminal to log in, we do require that public IP address. So let's go ahead and copy it. And remember the user of user and this public IP address. And if you need and haven't changed the password yet, remember 123456, then go over to your terminal window. From there, we can type SSH user at and paste the public IP address and then press enter. Just type yes for the fingerprint and you'll be asked for the password. Now, because I've changed my password, it's not 123456 anymore, but if you haven't changed your password yet because you did not use the web console, then you'll be required to change that 123456 default password, which you can do using the exact same steps that I showed you earlier with the web console. And from here, you can go ahead and complete the lessons that require access to the server labs, or you can just play around with these servers. And once you're done using this server, you can go back to the control center where you can either stop the server to use it again another day, or you can go ahead and delete the server if you do not require the use of that server anymore. But keep in mind, if you've done anything on that server, you will lose the progress. I'll go ahead and delete my server because I don't need to use it anymore, and it will clear out of my screen. If I stop the server, it would still be available here. I would just have to go to server actions and start the server back up. And that concludes it for this introductory lesson to Server Labs.